You've experienced something that, well, it shouldn't exist. That eerie feeling when you step into a room and know with absolute certainty that you've been there before. The conversation you're having feels like a memory. The face in front of you sparks something deep, something ancient, and for a split second, time itself seems to fold. They call it déjà vu, and according to what we're told, it's just a brain hiccup, a misfiring of neurons, nothing more. But here's the problem. Albert Einstein spent the final years of his life studying something that might prove everyone wrong. In a letter written just weeks before his death, Einstein revealed a truth about time, a truth that changes everything we think we know about memory, about consciousness, and about whether we've truly lived before. If we only live once, déjà vu shouldn't exist. And yet, it does. 74% of people report experiencing it, and the explanation they give you, it just doesn't hold up when you look at what Einstein actually discovered. Today, I'm going to show you what he found. And by the end of this video, you'll never think about déjà vu the same way again. But first, let me tell you what they want you to believe. The official explanation goes like this. Déjà vu is a memory error. Your brain processes information in two streams, and sometimes one stream gets slightly delayed. So you experience the present moment, but a fraction of a second later, you experience it again. Your brain mistakes this tiny delay for a memory. That's it. Case closed. Move on. Researchers at Colorado State University have confirmed this. They used virtual reality to show that when people encounter a scene with a similar spatial layout to one they've seen before, they report feelings of déjà vu. The brain is simply pattern matching, finding false similarities. Nothing mysterious happening here. The neuroscience community has spent decades studying this phenomenon. A 2024 systematic review published in Frontiers in Neurology analyzed thousands of cases. They found that déjà vu activates the temporal lobe, specifically regions connected to familiarity processing. The parahippocampal cortex lights up, generating a sense that something is familiar. But the hippocampus, which should retrieve the actual memory, stays quiet. This mismatch creates the uncanny sensation. But wait, if déjà vu is just a brain hiccup, why does it feel so different from other memory errors? When you forget where you put your keys, you don't get spine-tingling shivers. When you blank on a name, you don't feel like reality itself is bending. Déjà vu is different. It carries weight, it carries meaning, and roughly 2/3 of the population has felt it strongly enough to remember it years later. There's something else the official explanation can't address. Why do some people experience déjà vu of events that haven't happened yet? Precognitive déjà vu, where you get that feeling of familiarity before something occurs, and then it occurs exactly as you sensed it would. If déjà vu is just delayed processing, how can you have a memory of something that hasn't even happened? Research has shown that certain factors increase déjà vu frequency. Fatigue makes it more common. Stress makes it more common. Dopamine levels affect it. People who travel frequently report more déjà vu. People who remember their dreams vividly experience it more often. If this was simply a processing delay, why would dreams and travel matter? Why would the chemicals in your brain that regulate perception change how often you glimpse what feels like the past? This is where Albert Einstein enters the picture. And what he discovered about the nature of time might be the key to understanding what déjà vu actually is. On March 15, 1955, Einstein received devastating news. His closest friend, Michael Bell, had died at the age of 81. Bell had been with Einstein since the beginning. They met as university students in Zurich. They worked together at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern. During those long days examining inventions, they would discuss physics during lunch breaks. Bell was the sounding board for the theory of relativity itself. In the acknowledgements of his 1905 paper on special relativity, the paper that changed physics forever, Einstein specifically thanked Bell for his valuable suggestions. They had spent 5 decades discussing the deepest questions of physics together. 5 decades of letters, conversations, debates about the nature of space and time. Bell understood Einstein's thinking in a way few others could. 6 days after Bell's death, Einstein wrote a letter to the Bell family, and in that letter he revealed something extraordinary. He wrote, and I quote, "Now he has departed from this mortal coil a little ahead of me. That means nothing. People like us, who believe in physics, know that the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion." Read that again. The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. This letter, dated March 21, 1955, is now archived as Einstein Archives 7-245. It was published in the New York Times in March 1972, 17 years after Einstein's death, and its implications are staggering. Einstein was not speaking metaphorically. He was not offering spiritual comfort dressed up in scientific language. He was stating what his physics had shown him to be true. Time as we experience it, with a past that is gone, a present that exists, and a future that hasn't happened yet. This experience is an illusion. The physics says something different. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, time is not a river flowing from past to future. Time is a dimension, just like length, width, and height. And just as all points in space exist simultaneously, all points in time exist simultaneously too. Your birth is still happening. Your death has already occurred. Every moment you have ever lived, and will ever live, exists right now, frozen in what physicists call the eternal now. Think about what that means. Right now, as you watch this video, there's a version of you being born. There's a version of you taking your first steps. There's a version of you experiencing your first heartbreak, your greatest triumph, your last breath. All of these moments are equally real. None of them is more present than the others. The sense that only this moment exists, that the past has vanished and the future hasn't arrived, is the illusion Einstein was describing. Karl Popper, the famous philosopher of science, once had a conversation with Einstein about this very subject. Popper wrote about it later. The main topic of our conversation was indeterminism. I tried to nudge him away from his rock-solid determinism, which basically meant he saw the world as a 4-dimensional, Parmenidean eternal now, where change was just a trick of the light, or close enough. He admitted, yeah, that was pretty much his take. Einstein agreed, actually. He was convinced that change itself is an illusion, a mirage, that every moment is eternally present, that we're not surfing a wave of time, but simply experiencing it from different spots within a structure that's always been complete. Now, really let that sink in. Think about what this could mean for déjà vu. If every single moment in time, past, present, and future, exists all at once, then you aren't just living this moment. You're existing across all moments of your life, simultaneously. Imagine your consciousness as a spotlight, shining on one frame at a time of a movie reel that already exists in its entirety. And what if, sometimes, that spotlight flickers? What if it momentarily lands on a frame it's already seen, or one it will see later? Déjà vu might not be a brain hiccup. It could be a peek behind the curtain, a quick flash when your consciousness recognizes a moment, a feeling, that it's already experienced from its place in the eternal now. If you are someone who experiences déjà vu frequently, you might have pondered why certain moments seem to trigger it and others don't. Why a random Tuesday afternoon can suddenly feel hauntingly familiar. Why an ordinary chit-chat can ignite that intense sensation that you've lived this exact moment before. The eternal now theory offers a compelling explanation. Perhaps those moments are significant in ways your everyday mind can't grasp. Maybe they are. Key nodes where different threads of your existence intersect. Maybe your consciousness has brushed against them multiple times, approaching them from various angles within the intricate, four-dimensional tapestry of space-time. But Einstein, he went even deeper than that. In 1950, 5 years before his passing, Einstein received a heartfelt letter from a grieving father named Walter Montgomery. Walter had lost his young son and was desperately searching for solace, for meaning. Einstein's reply has become one of his most quoted passages, although many don't fully understand its profound implications. Einstein wrote, "A human being is a part of the whole, called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings, as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty, an optical delusion of consciousness." That's how Einstein described our everyday experience of being a separate self, moving through time from birth to death. The original German phrase he used, optische Täuschung, is often translated as optical illusion. But delusion packs a stronger punch. An illusion is a misinterpretation of what you see. A delusion is a belief you hold, that you build your life around, that you can't easily shake. Einstein was drawing inspiration from the philosophy of Baruch Spinoza, the 17th century thinker who argued that what we call soul and what we call body are actually one single substance, not two connected things, but one thing appearing as two. Spinoza called this substance God, or nature. Deus sive natura. He asserted that everything that exists is simply a mode, an expression of this one infinite substance. Einstein deeply admired Spinoza. When a rabbi asked him in 1929 if he believed in God, Einstein replied, "I believe in Spinoza's God, who reveals himself in the orderly harmony of what exists, not in a God who concerns himself with the fates and actions of human beings." He said he loved Spinoza because Spinoza was the first philosopher to treat the soul and the body as one, not two separate entities. Think about what this implies. If your sense of being a separate consciousness is an illusion, and if time as a flowing river is also an illusion, then what is déjà vu? It might be a crack in the facade, a brief moment when the prison walls of your individual consciousness grow thin, and you catch a glimpse of the truth that Einstein dedicated his life to uncovering. That all moments are one, that separation is a dream, that you are not a small self moving through time, but the entire universe experiencing itself from a particular, unique angle. This would explain why déjà vu feels so unsettling, so significant. You're not just blanking on a name. You're momentarily remembering something true, something about the nature of time and consciousness that your everyday mind actively works to forget. But here's where it gets even more mind-bending, because modern physics has taken Einstein's ideas and run wild with them. Dr. Michio Kaku, a theoretical physicist at the City College of New York, is one of the most respected popularizers of physics living today. He's a co-founder of string field theory and has penned best-selling books about the physics of the impossible, the future of the mind, and the very fabric of reality. When asked about déjà vu, He offered a perspective that would have fascinated Einstein to no end. Kaku referenced the Nobel Prize-winning physicist Steven Weinberg, who used a radio analogy to explain the multiverse. "Think of radio," Weinberg said. "If you're chilling in your living room, listening to NPR, that radio is tuned to one specific frequency, but there are hundreds of other stations broadcasting simultaneously. They are all in your living room right now, but you can't hear them because you're locked onto a single frequency." Kaku suggests something similar might be happening with reality itself. In quantum physics, we consist of atoms. Our atoms vibrate, but they no longer vibrate in sync with other possible versions of reality. We've decoupled from them, we've decohered from them. But what if, occasionally, there's interference? What if déjà vu is a fleeting moment when the signal from another frequency bleeds through? The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, first put forth by Hugh Everett in 1957, suggests precisely this. Every quantum event creates a branching of universes. Every possible outcome plays out in some universe. Right now, there are versions of you making different choices, living different lives, experiencing different moments. And here is the million-dollar question. If all these versions exist, and if consciousness is fundamental to reality, as many physicists now believe, could there be leakage between them? Could déjà vu be a fleeting moment when you briefly tune into a frequency where this moment has already unfolded? Not a memory of your past, but a memory of another now? Einstein himself never embraced the many worlds interpretation. He famously declared that God does not play dice, rejecting the inherent randomness at the heart of quantum mechanics. He spent the last 30 years of his life debating Niels Bohr and the Copenhagen interpretation. But his own theory of relativity opened the door to this kind of thinking. If time is a dimension where all moments exist eternally, the question becomes, how many timelines are contained in that eternal now? Is there one fixed history, or infinite variations, all existing simultaneously? Modern physics increasingly suggests the latter. And if that is true, then déjà vu takes on an entirely new significance. Let me share something that neuroscience has recently discovered that adds another layer to this mystery. Researchers, using fMRI scanners, found something unexpected about déjà vu. When people experience it, the areas of the brain associated with memory, like the hippocampus, are not activated. Instead, the active areas are those involved in decision-making and conflict resolution. The frontal regions of the brain light up, as if the brain is checking its memories and finding a conflict. It recognizes something as familiar, but cannot find any supporting evidence for why. According to researcher Ashley Carter, from the University of St. Andrews, déjà vu is actually a sign that your brain is working correctly. She says experiencing déjà vu is probably a good thing for most people. It is a sign that the fact-checking brain regions are working well, preventing you from blanking on events. The brain detects something it thinks it should remember, investigates, and when it finds no evidence, flags the experience as déjà vu, rather than accepting a false memory. But think about what this means in light of what Einstein discovered. The brain is detecting familiarity. It cannot explain. It knows this moment has been experienced before, but it cannot locate that experience in normal memory. What if the reason is that the experience did not happen in normal time? What if the brain is detecting something that exists in the eternal now, in a parallel timeline, in a frame of the film reel, that consciousness has already visited from beyond the illusion of linear time? The brain is doing exactly what it should do. It is detecting a real signal of familiarity, but it cannot locate the source. because the source exists outside the framework of conventional time. The frontal cortex searches the hippocampus for a matching memory and finds nothing, not because the familiarity is false, but because the memory is stored in a dimension the brain cannot access directly. This brings us to perhaps the most profound question of all. If déjà vu is a glimpse through the illusion of time, what does that mean about who you really are? Einstein spent his entire career trying to understand the fundamental nature of reality, and toward the end of his life, he became increasingly convinced that consciousness itself plays a central role in that reality. The measurement problem in quantum mechanics, which puzzled him until his death, suggests that observation itself shapes what we call the physical world. Particles exist in superposition until observed. Reality seems to require a conscious observer to collapse into definite states. In his final years, Einstein worked obsessively on a unified field theory. He wanted to find the mathematical framework that would connect all the forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, the strong force, the weak force, into one coherent picture. He spent his days at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, filling notebooks with equations, searching for the pattern that would explain everything. He did not succeed before his death on April 18, 1955, just weeks after writing that letter about time being an illusion. But his intuition pointed in a direction that physics is only now beginning to explore seriously. On his deathbed, Einstein was still working. He asked for his notes. He spent his final hours scribbling equations, searching for that unified theory. The last thing he wrote was 12 pages of calculations. What was he looking for? What did he sense was just beyond his reach? What if consciousness is not produced by the brain but received by it? What if, like a radio tuning into a station, your brain is an antenna picking up a signal of awareness that exists throughout the eternal now? And what if déjà vu is a moment, when that antenna picks up more than one signal at once? This would explain why you cannot deliberately produce déjà vu. You cannot control what frequencies bleed through. It would explain why déjà vu often happens during mundane moments, not dramatic ones. The brain is relaxed, the filters are down, and for just a moment, the true nature of time leaks in. It would explain why déjà vu feels meaningful, even when the content is trivial. The significance is not in what you are seeing, but in how you are seeing it. You are momentarily glimpsing that the present moment is not as separate from other moments as you thought. You have been told your whole life that you are born, you live, you die, and that is the end. That time moves forward and carries you along with it. That memories are recordings of a past that no longer exists. That the future is unwritten. But Einstein showed that this is not what the physics says. The physics says all moments exist. The physics says your sense of being separate from the universe is an optical delusion. The physics says the distinction between past, present, and future is a stubbornly persistent illusion. And déjà vu might be the moment when that illusion cracks. If you have felt it, that uncanny sense that you have lived this exact moment before, you have not imagined it. You have not had a brain hiccup. You have glimpsed something true about the nature of time. You just need to know what to do with that glimpse once you have it. If this exploration of Einstein's hidden truth about time has opened something in you, if you are ready to go deeper into the mysteries that mainstream science ignores, then supporting this channel through super thanks is how you help ensure these revelations keep coming. When you click that button, you are not just tipping a creator, you are voting for a kind of knowledge that most channels are afraid to touch. You are saying that truth matters more than comfort, that questions matter more than easy answers. The seekers the ones who refuse to accept the surface explanation. You are why this channel exists, and your support makes it possible to keep digging. So, what does this mean for your life right now? First, start paying attention to your déjà vu experiences differently. Instead of dismissing them as brain hiccups, treat them as data. What were you thinking about? What emotional state were you in? Were you tired, relaxed, in a liminal state between sleep and waking? Keep a record. Over time, you may notice patterns that reveal something about how your consciousness navigates the eternal now. Second, contemplate what Einstein called the optical delusion of consciousness, your sense of being a separate individual, enclosed in skin, moving through time from birth to death. This experience feels real on one level, but it's not the whole story. You're also part of a much larger picture. You exist across all your moments, simultaneously. The you who was 5 years old, they haven't vanished. The you who will exist at the moment you take your last breath, they already exist. It's all happening now, in the eternal present that holds all of time within it. Now, let's see if this shifts how you view mortality. Einstein once wrote to Michael Bell's family that his friend passing on a little before him meant nothing. Really let that sink in. Absolutely nothing. Because within this eternal now, Michael still exists. Everyone you've ever lost, they still exist. They haven't been erased. They continue to be, at their specific coordinates in space-time, as real as they ever were. The grief you feel is the grief of separation. But that separation is just part of the illusion. They are there. They have always been there. They will always be there. And next, consider that déjà vu might be trying to teach you something. The next time it hits, don't just brush it off. Pause. Really feel it. Ask yourself, what is this moment showing me about the nature of time itself? About the nature of my own consciousness? About the walls of the prison that Einstein urged us to break free from? Listen, you're different from most people. The vast majority hear about déjà vu and shrug it off. They buy the brain hiccup explanation and just keep moving. They never stop to wonder what it might actually mean. They never consider that a mind like Einstein's spent his final days grappling with time and uncovered something that challenges everything we think we know. You're watching this video because something deep down inside you knows there's more to this story. Trust that instinct. It guided you here for a reason. This illusion, it's persistent. Einstein himself said so. It's not easy to shatter. But déjà vu suggests that maybe, just maybe, it can crack. That you can momentarily slip through the cracks. That the truth about time isn't hidden from you, but hidden within you, waiting to be remembered. Did you know that approximately 74% of folks have experienced déjà vu, which means 74% of people have touched, however fleetingly, the very thing that Einstein dedicated his life to understanding? The question isn't whether you can access this knowledge. You already have. The question is, will you dismiss it as just a brain hiccup, or will you embrace it as a glimpse? Einstein penned those words about time being an illusion a mere 3 weeks before his passing. He was 76 years young. He had dedicated 60 years to pondering the most profound questions in physics. And in his final communication to his oldest friend's family, that is what he wanted them to grasp. Not empty platitudes about some afterlife, not comforting religious phrases. Physics, the cold, beautiful, unwavering truth that his equations had revealed. That time isn't what we perceive it to be. That death isn't what we imagine it to be. That those moments we believe are gone forever are still there, always there, eternally present within the block that encompasses all of existence. I know the choice I've made. I'm curious, what's yours? If this video has changed how you think about déjà vu, about time itself, about what Einstein really discovered, then I need to hear from you. Comment glimpse if you believe déjà vu is something more than just a random brain hiccup. Comment hiccup if you're still satisfied with the standard explanation. I personally read every single comment in the first couple of hours, and I respond to the ones that demonstrate some real thought. Share your most powerful déjà vu experience with me. Did it feel like a memory or something else entirely? What did you see in that crack in time? Hit that subscribe button. If you're ready to delve deeper into the secrets Einstein left behind, there's so much more to uncover, so much more they never taught you. And as Einstein himself wisely stated, the important thing is to never stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. I'll catch you in the next video, or perhaps in the eternal now. I already have.